this is Pamela from Design Wishes by Pamela, and I'm diving right into project number 3. Here I have already designed the project base, which is a bottle, and once again I am using the gummed or glued mailing tape, reinforced mailing tape. And I am showing you, if you watch some of my other videos, you know already how I do this, but I am showing you how I just wet that that paste to activate it. And just a little, not a whole lot. And then what I'm doing is I'm connecting the sides of the bottle. And I do that by adding the tape to the outside and to the inside. And if you're watching this process for the first time, let me just tell you, it is very strong. If I have a large project or a project with a lot of pieces, instead of using cardstock to do this, I find that the pre-gummed reinforced mailing tape, it's thinner, but it's sturdier because it has these nylon threads. I think they're cotton or nylon threads that run through it. And when it dries, it makes a solid piece. So if you don't have any, you may want to get some. And a whole roll will last you a very long time. Anyway, so I did speed up the entire video until we get to the review part at the end. So if you need to slow it down, you can do that a little later. But I am speeding it up because this is the longest part of the project, is constructing the bottle. So that is what I'm doing right here. And remember, if you use this tape, just a little bit of water, not a whole lot, but if you miss a spot, you can go over and catch that spot with some water and get all that laid down. And of course, one of the best tools to help you smooth this tape down onto the chipboard is a bone folder or ruler edge. And that makes sure that you have really good contact onto the chipboard and it's nice and smooth. So I'm just measuring each section for the tape and making sure that I don't have too much overhang. I'll go back later and I will trim up anything that's kind of sticking out or not laying down again. I'll reapply some water. So that is what I'm doing in this segment right here. And it's quite a lengthy process for this project, because there are so many sides and so many sections of the bottle base. And in case anybody wants to know, I am using Graphics medium weight chipboard. I find that is good, not too thick, not too thin or flimsy chipboard. And you can find that on the internet. You can also find the reinforced mailing tape on the internet. I believe some postal annex or U.S. postal offices carry this tape as well. You want to make sure it's the tape that has the paper and not the plastic kind of coating. You want the paper, craft paper backing, not the one that has like the laminate feel to it. Because if you're going to be painting your surfaces afterwards or applying any type of paper over the tape, the laminate kind won't adhere as easily as the paper kind. So just something to remember. Here I'm making sure that the sides line up really nice and tight and even. I don't want my bottle to look wobbly, the bottle base to, because it won't stand up. So I'm really making sure that my edges are really in there tight and I'm squared up. I'm using my bone folder to reach inside the bottle, inside the bottle, to make sure that the tape is adhered. And then I have my little pieces that'll go on the top and bottom. And I'm attaching the two short ends of the mailing tape so that I have a nice surface for the little chipboard piece to sit on. Now I'm applying my rectangle chipboard piece for the base of the bottle. And again, I am making my strips, which I'm folding them in half. This time I'm coating the entire strip with water because I don't have the ability to do one side at a time. You have a little bit of time before the glued surface doesn't stick anymore or gets too gummy, but you don't want to wait too long before you apply it onto your object. Okay, looks pretty good here. So now I have to figure out how I'm going to do the bottle neck. And so this is just a recycled tube of, I think there are plastic bags on it. So I just made a mark on the tube for the length of my bottleneck, and I cut it off. And now I'm just trying to square up and measure where I'm going to put a hole to fit the tube through for the bottleneck. And I'm just going to use an X-Acto knife and a mat and do a dry fit. Make sure I have my placement correctly on there. And then now I can put some tape onto all four sides of the top piece before I put the tube inside. And then I'm going to cut around some of that tape so that the tube can fit all the way through. You want to really give that tape a good press onto the chipboard to make sure it's adhered really well. One more dry fit. I made a mark on the tube where I want to put my hot glue, and then I slid it down into the hole, cleaned up the edges a little bit, and I'm happy the way it looks. So these are the leftover flowers that were from the original project. And now I'm going to gesso the wood top and the little chipboard square that's going to be the top of the bottle cap and my bottle with gesso. I'm also using Liquitex blended fibers, and that's what's going to give me my texture. Just making sure I get the Liquitex completely covered all over the base of the bottle. This will give me a good foundation for when I go to paint the bottle, and it also will act as a sealer for the chipboard so that there isn't any moisture getting in between the chipboard and the layers of paint that I am going to be using. And it was just as easy just to dip the little pieces into the blended fibers. And as I'm applying the blended fibers, the Liquitex blended fibers, I am actually tapping a little bit so that I get a little bit of peak, like a raised peak on the base of the bottle. That'll give me some texture for the overall look that I am trying to achieve with this project. So even though you probably can't tell, I am not just painting it on, but I am tapping lightly all around just to get those peaks, and you can see some of those peaks. I really want to have kind of a rough texture evenly around the whole entire bottle. Now it's time to paint. One of my favorite parts of doing a project, and you saw there that I'm using my favorite go-to black paint, which is Mars Black acrylic paint from Liquitex, and I'm just go ahead and I'm brushing right on, and you can see that texture coming through on the paint from the painting. And I really like the way that turned out. I could have left it just like this and I would have really liked it, but we're gonna take it up a notch for this project. I did end up painting the base of the bottle a little later, but I wanted to have the bottle standing up while it was drying. And then I'm just going to go ahead and finish by painting the top. So there you have it, completely done, top and the bottle base. These are the leftover flowers that, again, I used the liquid text gesso and coated them with it. These are my letters for the poison potion, and I use my Silhouette software and download font file called PN Goose Pimples. Love, love, love Finnebear and Prima Marketing's Sparks and acrylic paint. Also used Tim Holtz Distress Inks. I used, you see more than what I used. I actually ended up using Scattered Straw, Black Soot, and Walnut Stain. So I'm taking the purple Sparks paint and I'm just coating the edges. It's almost like when you're using Distress ink. I just really want to just add a little bit, and I'm kind of dry brushing actually all over the bottle. I'm not really trying to go too heavy-handed with the painting here. And this is Iris Potion Sparks paint by Finnebear and Prima Marketing. Iris Potion, which is perfect for this project because I'm making a potion bottle. Really, really pretty colors in the Sparks line of paints. And then this color is Fairy Wings. Really beautiful green color. And I understand how they could name it Fairy Wings because it does remind me of that, but it also is a spooky color. And that's why I'm using it here. It's a good contrast to that Iris Potion color. So again, I'm really just barely brushing it on and just a little bit. It sure looks like it's a lot, but it's not. And that's because of beautiful shimmer in the Sparks paint. But I'm just barely brushing it on. And then this is Prima Marketing and Finnebear's metallic silver spoon paint. And again, I'm just really barely brushing it on there with a dry brush. You may be wondering, why did I end up painting the entire bottle if I was going to put a label on it? One of the things I found that if you paint the whole project, even if you're going to layer on top of it, you won't have any problems if you missed a spot. Once you laid your embellishments down, if you paint the whole thing, then you don't have to go back and try to touch up in any area that you may have missed. So I took some of the Craft Smart paint from Michael's in white, and I just dry brushed it over some of the areas to give that, again, I'm going for a spooky, eerie look. And then I'm going to duplicate all those colors onto the top of the bottle. And again, it's just a wooden piece that I had in my mixed media collection. And then I made a 1/2 inch layer of chipboard for that square top that you see. And I'm just dabbing on a little bit of that white on there. So it dries super fast when you do a dry brush. And I tried making a web out of some hot glue. I decided not to use it. That's what you see in that upper right-hand corner. So those are some of the selections of Tim Holtz Distress Inks. But again, I ended up only using Black Soot, Walnut Stain, and Scattered Straw. I cut my labels for the bottles out of some white cardstock. It's Park Lane cardstock from Joann stores. And then I'm distressing those edges with that black soot. And I took 3 layers of cardstock to make each label because I wanted it to be nice and thick to match the texture of the bottle. And then I'm taking some of that walnut stain and then the scattered straw, and I'm filling it in so I could have kind of like that frosty, not even a frosty, but an old bottle label look. So here I am applying some hot glue onto the opening of that tube that is now my bottleneck, and I'm going to put the cap on. And now it's starting to really look like a bottle. Really like the way that turned out. And there I'm showing you that it's triple layers of cardstock. And here I'm laying out my letters for the poison and the potion. I really like this font. It's hard to tell from the video, but it kind of has a wiggly outside or a rough outside to each of the letters. Kind of gives it a spooky look, I guess. I did cut the letters 3 times and I stacked and glued them together. So even the letters are cut 3 times and stacked one on the other. And it gives a nice 3-dimensional look to the label. I really wanted to have a lot of texture and a lot of dimension on this project. And by doing the layering, you get that really great effect. And there I show you how that looks. The glue I'm using is a mixture of Aleene's tacky glue and just a little bit of water. I find this makes a really good combination for me, and when you stick it down, it really sticks down. It never lifts up. You just want to make sure that you have the right consistency, not too thick and not too thin. It works. So I applied some hot glue onto the backs of my label for my bottle. I wanted to have enough on there to make sure that it stuck down. And you can see how it makes a really good shadow around the label onto the bottle when you have that triple thickness of cardstock. Those are the flowers that I applied gesso to. I used the same method of painting the flowers that I did with the bottle. Here are some of my elements that I'm going to be using. These 2 are from Recollections. You can see there. They are buttons and they are brads, and perfect for this project. I've had them for a while, so I'm glad I'm using them for this project. And I'm just going to be going through and kind of layering different elements onto the bottle front and back. Here I took the prongs off of the brads, and I'm going to use them for the center of some of my flowers and also for some of the bottle decorations. So I just used my wire cutters from my jewelry tools to cut those prongs off. You just want to be really careful that you don't poke yourself or have those prongs flying all over the place. This is some of the chipboard elements, again, from the Recollections chipboard pieces, Halloween chipboard pieces. These florals are from the Graphic 45 large tag and die set. The flowers and the leaves, that is what the that is what I used originally on the original project. So it's a graphic 45 large tag and die set. I really like this bat. This again is from that Recollections chipboard collection. I love the purple eyes. Again, I had these embellishments forever, and years later I'm using them, and I'm glad I kept them because they really help make this project come to life. Again, I'm just adding some more embellishments to the bottle. These two pieces of chipboard here are also from the Recollection Halloween chipboard collection. Sometimes when I put a project together, I don't put as much on at first. I wait and take a look at where I'm at as far as, do I have enough balance in the embellishments? Do I need more? That's why it's a good idea to dry fit or do like a rehearsal of your embellishments before you glue them down, because you may end up deciding that you have too much. So I always start out with just a little bit of embellishments, and then I see where I need to fill in or if I need to add more. These little spider and bug chipboard pieces that I just added came from My Mind's Eye, My Mind's Eye collection, and that collection is called Wicked Merchant Malvado. If you go to my blog, you'll see it on my blog. So here's a review of the final Spooky Poison Potion bottle. I added a chain, which I distressed, and I used a mini pocket watch from Tim Holtz, and I distressed that the same way I did the bottle, and then I added a little bit of glitter and sequins in the front of it to kind of give it a mystical look on the inside of that pocket watch. But that chain is attached to the neck of the bottle neck. And then I took a brad because I didn't want it really swinging around too much, but I took a brad and I just added some glossy accents onto the prongs and I pushed it into the chipboard. This is one of my favorite projects. I have a lot of favorite projects that I've done from scratch, but this one I really like. I don't do a whole lot of Halloween, but I felt that this would be a great way to use the flowers. And yeah, you're probably wondering, whoa, flowers for Halloween? But if you use your imagination, those are the poison flowers that made the poison potion. So I thought they would be a really nice way to accent the bottle and also use the remaining pieces from the original project. I really liked putting this project together again. I thank you for watching. If you like what you see, please remember to give me a thumbs up on YouTube. Follow me. There is a link at the end of the video or web address at the end of the video where you can find me or go to my shop. I do have a shop now on Big Cartel. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great Halloween holiday. Stay safe. Bye now.